I don't know how to start this video. How to start this video. Woohoo! Yay! Hey, and welcome to this video. My name is Nina, and in today's video we will be creating a mountainous hiking trail through the woods of my Nordic country inspired island. So let's just walk on over to the area that this will be built in. And it will be very terraforming heavy. It will be right kind of in front of this lake, so it will in the end create a little lookout, but I won't do that in this video. We might do that on stream sometime because it's a tiny little area, but I didn't really know what to put in it. And yeah, but as you can see, we have this huge chunk of cliff here that will only be holding 2 more builds until this island is done. But without further babbling on, let's open our island design app and let's hop right into it. I'm starting out and I wanted to create this little river that will later connect to a waterscaping section that I will be starting in just a few seconds. But it didn't really work out because I thought that would take too much space from this cliff. Like it would take up too much space to actually plant trees in, and we don't want that in a mountainous kind of hiking trail with like a bunch of trees around. I know that it doesn't make that much sense to have like a forest on top of a mountain, you know, because trees usually don't grow up too high, but we will ignore that fact. This is a large hill, but we're still going to call it mountainous because we will actually be creating a little mountain later with the cave items, and I'm really happy with how it turns out in the end. And this little waterscaping thingy that I'm trying to work out here is going to be holding a bridge, and it will be kind of the main viewpoint that if you stand on top of the bridge, it will give you a little bit more height to view the entire area that will be surrounding it. And yeah, that's what we're currently doing. So I had to actually fidget with this waterscaping quite a bit because again, I wanted there to be enough space to be tons of trees around, and a lot of the cave items, we use quite a few of them, and those take up like 3x3 tiles, so 9 tiles. So I had to make sure to include enough space, leave enough space. Oh Jesus, this is another early morning recording, by the way. I don't know why I keep doing these in the mornings. I think because I keep feeling that I might have less trouble to speak, but that's actually the opposite because I'm very much of a night owl and I do not function well in the mornings. So this is going to be another interesting voiceover, so you will have to bear with me, sorry. But yeah, so I'm rising this cliff up just so that we can plop a little cave item on top of there as well. So we will be kind of layering the items in the end, and I'm going to terraform quite a bit here, and I think I will cut out a bit by the end because we will also add another cliff to the left of this one, and in between we will have a little canyon kind of where we will have a view so that you can kind of like look through the cliffs, and you will have a very nice view of like a cave. You will see by the end. I really like that view. I think it turned out very cute. I don't really know why I thought that this was enough cliff space for me to add like multiple cave items on top of them without expanding it before I even started this build. So I apologize for going back in from time to time and adding more cliff and even more cliff, because I wanted to, you know, not only layer the caves behind each other, I also wanted the caves to be layered kind of on top, not on top of each other, but that it just gives it a bit more height and it creates this kind of mountainous shape. So I had to go in and expand the cliff that is at the bottom level to just add more cliff to the top level. If that makes sense. And I always underestimated, like every time I went in, I always underestimated how much space it would take up. So I had to go back in, add more cliff, as I'm just doing right now. It's terrible, but we will be there in just a few minutes. I will also probably quite a bit late to mention that, but I might actually pop a timestamp in there just in case any one of you doesn't really enjoy waterscaping, time traveling, what am I saying, terraforming as much, so that you can skip that and you can just go right into the tree placing section, which will also be quite long because this is a forest island area. Jesus, I'm having trouble to speak, but yeah, I am not a pro when it comes to voiceovers, and we all know that by now, and it's probably not going to change for quite a while, so apologies again. And yeah, now I'm just going in and kind of editing the river a bit more because I wanted it to flow kind of down from the cliff. And to the left here you can kind of see my Christmas market build that I will also probably put up a little card for you to check out if you haven't done so already. So I wanted the fringes of this build to also feel very full and lush because you will be able to kind of see it from down below. And I don't really want there to be like a bare cliff just because you can't really see it from this build. So yeah, there will also be a lot of cliff decorating, but I cut that out because this is already like an 18-minute-ish video and I didn't really want it to hit the 20-minute mark for a forest path. But yeah, so now I'm creating this second cliff that I already mentioned. Jesus, I think my dog just jumped on my door. Like he just, from the outside, he just jumped at my door. Really hope you couldn't hear that. Sorry. Yeah, it's a struggle again with this voiceover. But as I said, I'm creating this cliff, and I will edit this a ton because initially we will be having an incline that leads out top of the cliff. And initially I was gonna put the incline kind of just like front facing so that you can like go straight across and just go up on the cliff. But in the end I will actually use a sideways incline, so it will be a lot of shifting and me figuring this out because it's quite a small space and I know what I want to put behind this cliff. So I had to make sure that the kind of flow to that area would be nice once you are on top of the cliff and whatnot, but we will come to that I think for the next or the build after that. So yeah, very excited for that one though because I actually made some codes myself for that. But yeah, so here you can see I had to edit this cliff quite a bit as well because I thought it would be cute to include one of the ruined arches to just kind of frame the view that I was talking about earlier a bit more, like the one that you could kind of view if you would stand on top of the bridge and look in between, like through the two cliffs and through the little cave items. I'm saying the little, they are huge, and I thought it would be a nice kind of frame, and I really adore these ruined items, and I don't really have a place to use them on this island, so I thought that would be a very nice idea because they also have the vines kind of going across that we also have on the caves, and I don't know, it doesn't make much sense, but I thought it looked cute and it added a different item of height, and just again to frame this area I thought it would work very well. And you can also see me like going back and forth to kind of look at the view and see if it works, if I had to like push stuff back a little bit more so that you can view better or whatnot. So yeah, and here in just a few seconds I will edit this one last time, the incline thingy, and we'll have the final position for where it's actually gonna go. So yeah, we will also be placing that in a second, and then there will be another time skip also to have all the trees grown in. This is not an ingrown toenail, Nina, Jesus. So there will be another time skip in just a few secs just to get all the different tree levels as I usually do. I plant all the trees and then I time travel a couple of days in a row to get all the different growth stages. Also, pro tip, if you really want to save time when stunting trees, I'd say go in a different area of your island, place a bunch of trees, and then skip 2 days to get the medium growth stage. Then you go back in game, place a couple more trees, skip another day, then you will already have the small and the large young trees, and then you stunt a couple of them, and then you can skip one more day and you will have all the growth stages, and you will have skipped to go back in game for one day. So that's going to save you a little bit of time, not too much, but just a little tip. If you're in a rush kind of, or you really want to get a build done, I recommend just planting, going 2 days, planting, going 1 day, and you will have all the different growth stages. So that's just my pro tip, and don't forget to stunt your trees. But as you can already see, I will be speeding this up a ton actually, because we will be going through my hole digging placement kind of struggle, and that I already also am building another cliff. It was a struggle. This whole build was very difficult to figure out, so it will be a lot of going back and forth, and yeah, I should probably start pre-planning my builds, but I usually don't like doing that because kind of takes the fun out of it, and it's kind of nonsense to me to build stuff twice. So I sped this up quite a bit because it was painfully long. It took a painfully long amount of time. I sped this up as much as possible, and I will also be including 2 cliff trees, which if you don't know how to do that, there are a couple of videos on YouTube how to do that, but basically you will be able to see in just a few seconds how I did that. It's very easy once you get the hang of it, and I thought I would just utilize the space a bit more because, again, very tiny space to work in, and I wanted it to feel like a huge forest. So those two kind of didn't work well together, but I noticed that way too far into the build. Here you can kind of see I only wanted this to be a tiny little cliff, and wanted to squeeze in as much trees as possible. So I'm gonna do this little adjusting to the cliff so I can include the woodscaping that I need in order to stunt a tree, and do the tree cliff kind of glitch. I'm really glad that I didn't patch that out with 2.0, by the way. And then I will go back in and plant a bunch of more trees, and yeah, then we will be done with the trees in just a few seconds. I am so sorry that this is so tree planting heavy. 11 minutes into the build, I am such a slow builder, and I sped that up to the max, so I didn't think that it will be such a long build after speeding it up. But yeah, I'm talking so much nonsense today. I'm so sorry. Editing Nina will have a lot of work to do to kind of try and make it funny. Yeah, but second cliff tree. Actually, I'm not showing how I removed all of that because that was a whole hassle, because I had to place another tree back and remove all the cliff, and it was, yeah, no, not going to talk about that. But I did remove that, just for anyone coming in and saying, why didn't you remove the cliff that you built just to plant the cliff tree? I did remove it. Here are the last few trees that I'm about to place, and I will be swapping out a bunch throughout the video as well, just because as I'm building, I often kind of notice where I want a different growth stage of a tree or a different kind of tree. So that I always do that throughout the build, exchange stuff. I also exchange my flowers and bushes quite a ton. So yeah, those are the last few kind of trees to the right, kind of on top of the cliff and in the little canyon that we created. And now we will actually start and flopping in a bunch of bushes and flowers and whatnot, which is one of my favorite parts, to just fill in all the little spaces and make it feel very lush and full and just very realistic, kind of as realistic as you can probably get in Animal Crossing, because it's not too easy to do that, but we're gonna get as close as possible in this build. So yeah, I will also be including a ton of these rock kind of layering thingies that I always do in my build recently. So I use the flat garden rocks and flop a garden rock in front of it to just give it a bit more depth and make it look a bit more natural. And I think that also fits in with the cave item quite well, which is also why I used this particular customization of the cave item. Plus, I feel like it looks like the stone is very cold and kind of frozen. So I thought that this customization is very good, even though I really enjoy the mossy one as well. But all of them are so good, to be honest. Just love that we have them now because they are so versatile. You can do so much with them. And I'm really glad that I'm able to use them now, because that would not have been possible. I also tried out the volcano item. I'm not really sure what it's called, but I did try that out and it didn't really work. I wanted that to be kind of the mountain mountain top, but it doesn't fill the space as nicely as the cave items do. So I thought that looked kind of awkward and I didn't really want that. Oh, and I forgot to say, I also included this ruined kind of pillar, which I think is going to carry over the kind of color scheme of the ruined arches, and I'm using the white customization of it just for anyone wondering. It's not the ivory one to again make it feel kind of cold and fit the winter aesthetic. Oh, I love that my mum just started vacuuming. I'm so sorry. That's the perks of living back home, you know. Love that for us, but I love her, so I'm not going to complain about that. I am also going to be including quite a few of these mush low stools, and we will also be including, I think, 1 or 2 mush parasols, because I just think they look very nice in a foresty area and they add a different element of height to what would usually just be trees. Can you maybe not vacuum right in front of my door, please? So yeah, I just think that works very well. And plus I used the white ones, so they tie in very nicely with the ruined arch, which I really like. And she started vacuuming again. I'm so sorry, but I can't stop the recording as much today because I don't have as much time, because it is actually upload day for me. I'm recording this a couple of hours before the upload is going to be, so I don't really have time to wait here and wait for my mum to finish vacuuming, so you will have to deal with that. If you can even hear that, you can probably not even hear that. But yeah, I really hope you're all doing well. I really hope, again, Christmas isn't getting to your head too much, you know, with all the Christmas shopping. And I know that it can be quite a difficult time for people because it's a financially very challenging time. So I really hope that you're all doing well out there. Also, for those of you who are celebrating, if not, I just hope you're having a good Tuesday, you know. And we are already nearing the end of this build, so I wanted to make a quick announcement, because on Thursday on stream we will be having a little charity stream, because I wanted to do something for Christmas, and I've seen a bunch of people doing charity streams at the moment, because I guess it's because of Christmas, I'm not really sure. And we will be raising money for the International Hip Dysplasia Institute, which is something very close to my heart. If you've been around for a while, you know that I will leave for surgery in January, and it's something that's very special to me because I'm suffering from it myself, and I wanted to enable people who cannot afford insurance and to get treated. And also they are helping to support the research and development of earlier diagnosis and treatment, which I'm very thankful for, because you can treat that as a newborn baby. I am very excited for that fundraiser. I really hope that I will see a bunch of you lovely people over there. But yeah, this build has come to an end now. I'm going to leave you now with a montage of the finished product. If you enjoyed this video, I would very, very much appreciate it if you could maybe give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'd love to have you here. Yeah, take care of yourself. Until next time, and bye-bye.